So I wanted to talk about transformation. So there's a couple different ways that you can do transformation. As I mentioned before, you have to be very generous to viewers when you're trying to communicate ideas. So I'm going to do transformation for the particular idea I have in my head right now. What I'm going to do, I got to move these Zoom controls out of the way first and foremost. And I'm going to change my artboard because I want to have more space to actually show my transformation. I'm going to try to do a transformation in line. So going from line to shape, that's one kind of transformation. And then I'm going to add value and I'm going to add scale. So I'm going to try to make an object change in all of those ways, as many ways as possible. So it's super clear that there's a transformation happening. With Illustrator, it's super easy because I'm going to make a line, a set of lines, just a collection of lines. Kind of looks like a little dancing person. I'm going to make it pretty small, right? And I'm going to make it transform into a shape that is solid but a lighter gray. I'm going to take away the stroke because if I leave the stroke in, it'll also blend the stroke. But I also want a change on the in the in-between of a shape that's completely different. So maybe I go in the star tool. And I'm holding down Command on a Mac and it's giving me different types of star tool types. And then maybe I'll hold down Shift and change it. And then maybe I'll take one of these sides just because I know that my instructor wants me to really play with line. And I'll make one line that, and then maybe I'll give this one a different value, a darker gray. Now when I use the blend tool, I'm going to go in, grab the blend tool here. Shortcut key, I believe, is W. And I'm going to blend from one to the next. And then one, and then click from that one to that one. I see it did something weird at the end. So maybe I tell it specific steps. Let's say I want even numbers, 1, 2, 3. So let's do 9 steps. That'll give me 12 different shapes. So there's my first transformation. It's okay. It's fine. The next thing I think I want to do is create some other kind of transition by creating a curved line. And then I'm going to rubber band select both of these. And I'm going up to Object, Blend, Replace Spine. So now there's a transformation, right? Happening there too. The curve is going from back and forth. Another transformation. I'm going to go Object, Expand Appearances, and Object, Ungroup. Oh, I have to expand one more time. Object expand until I have, there we go, individual shapes, and then Object, Ungroup. And I know my viewer needs space, so I'm going to take out some of these steps. I don't need to have every single step to articulate the transformation, right? I don't need every single step. Can maybe take out that step too. I'll reorganize these. And I'm just alternating how much space. I was in isolation mode. I hit escape to get out of it. And then maybe these last ones overlap. Then I can go in and make even more changes. I hit default D, I hit D on my keyboard to get default white fill black stroke. And then maybe I go in and I make changes to the stroke. so that I can further emphasize that a change is happening. Right? I can further emphasize a change is happening. So I'm editing, going in, and I also will use this one as a focal point to help with movement. So that's one way you can talk about transformation. I'll go back, I'll show you other ways. So what I'm going to do now is I want a circular. I want it to transform and go back to the starting place. So maybe I put my circle here and I'll start again with a line and a shape. Again, trying to figure out how many different ways I can articulate transformation. So I want a stroke that I can see, and then I'll go in and I'll also change the profile of this stroke, and I'll change the profile of this stroke as well. See if it works. If it doesn't, it's okay. Oh, this is why. There we go. So now I have these two shapes. Go back in, blending tool, and then rubber band select, object, blend, replace spine. So now the transformation is happening in a circle. All right, so you can choose different ways to use some of the tools that are in the tutorials. That's a couple different ways. I might also play with having a transformation in the background, like in the icon that I showed you in the handout. I could have a transformation in the background. So I'm going to remove the stroke of that one, but you know it's there. And then I'll repeat it. And now when I use the blend tool, I now have transformation in the shape, and then I also have transformation in the ground. So this is just a basic way to use some of the tools that we have. Specifically, the blend tool can be very useful. And again, you can go back in, object, expand appearances, object, expand again until I get individual shapes. And then I could make further changes. If you have two areas that are similar in value, there's a couple choices that you can make. You can give it a stroke just so that it delineates. It looks a little bit like an outline. So you can make further choices to that particular line. So it's really active, right? As you move forward. So there's lots of different ways that you can use the tools.